Hey guys, how's it going? Today we have a bunch of beautiful things to plant out in the garden. We've got an evergreen, some shrubs, and a perennial, all of which require a full sun location out in the garden, but I wanted to start here underneath the shade of the mulberry because it's nice. It feels good under here. It's supposed to get hot today. But we've got two buddleias. Honeybees already after that one. We've got one variety of hardy geranium and a Japanese white pine. So our butterfly bushes are so pretty. I've actually already got both of these varieties in the garden, but they're such high performing plants that I want to add more. I love the color. I love the structure of the plants, the texture. We've got ruby chip right here, which only grows about 2.5 feet tall by 2.5 feet wide. So almost more like a perennial. You can tuck it in closer to the edge of a border and still have that wonderful butterfly bush look. And then we've got Miss Violet, which grows a little bit bigger, 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. And it also has longer blooms, but that's still smaller than some of your other great big butterfly bushes that you can get. There's some that will grow, what, like 10 to 12 feet tall. That's so massive. It's nice to have some that are a little bit smaller. But the nice thing about these plants is that they're just a low maintenance, no fuss plant. The only thing that they really require is full sun and well draining soil. Other than that, I mean, ours are just starting to color up. So right at the end of June, they start getting color on them, and then they are in bloom for the rest of the season without needing to be deadheaded, without needing to be fussed with. They don't need especially fertile soil. They're not fussy about that. They're drought tolerant once established. I mean, we'll do consistent water this year and then fairly consistent next year. After that, they're just they're so easy to take care of, and I just appreciate plants like that so much. And they're both a zone 5 through 9, and typically our buddleias we have to cut back quite far every single year, almost down to the ground, but every single year they flush back out in glorious bloom and get to their full size. And it actually makes them a little bit easier to take care of in that way. They bloom on new wood. There's no real guesswork when it comes to pruning on those. If you live in a little bit more of a mild climate, you may not have to trim them back that far, but they are a late one to break dormancy. So it's one that you kind of want to wait and see if they start to leaf out, and then you want to cut them back down to the first set of strong leaves that are coming out. Some years is different than others, and some years we don't have to cut them back as far, but typically we cut them back pretty decent distance. Our next one here is a hardy geranium called Ballerina. And we already planted some of these out earlier this spring. And I think I mentioned when we planted them that we needed more and that I was gonna save some space to make that drift a little bit larger once I could find more. And my mom brought more in down at the garden center. So I picked up 5 of them and we are gonna add them to that drift. Hardy geraniums are awesome. There are tons of different varieties, but they all have a really interesting leaf shape. They usually are in color for most of the season. They'll give you amazing fall color, and some of them are evergreen. So some of them will give you 4 seasons of interest. And this is a smaller growing variety. So it grows about 6 inches tall, 10 inches wide. So we've got it tucked in at the front of a border, and I just think they're awesome. And they're a zone 5 through 9 as well. And then our last variety here is the Japanese white pine called Koru. Grows about 10 feet tall by 8 feet wide. And it's really irregular in its growth pattern, which gives it such a neat architectural shape. I like that. Sometimes I want them to look more like Christmas trees, and sometimes I want them to have a little bit more character than that. And this one produces big cones. You can see them starting right here that are very bold. And I love the bicolor needles. That blue-green, the blue in the needles just gives it such a glow quality. Hardy to zone 5. I'm guessing it likes a little bit more acidic soil than we have. So I'm actually gonna stop at the barn and I'm gonna grab some soil acidifier. We've got some in a bucket. We had a bag that broke, so we've got a whole bucket full of it. So I'll probably grab a scoop of that and we'll add it into the soil around the root ball, as well as our Biotone starter fertilizer. I do have that, our kneeling pad, and then we get to use our new augers. This is the 9-inch and this is the 7-inch Garden Answer Edition auger that we just launched, I think last week. And we've used them a lot in the production process, but this is the first time we get to use them in a video. So exciting. For example, the 9-inch auger here, the old one weighs 3.5 more pounds than this one does. And ours is 8 inches longer, so it's so much more comfortable to use. So anyway, I love when we can figure out ways to make the job easier on us. The other thing I did want to mention is it's gonna get hot today. It's gonna get close to 100 degrees, if not reach that today. And we typically keep planting. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. If we can dig a hole in the ground, I mean, we were out here first week of January moving trees around. If we've got a window of time where we can do it, we do it. And I feel like plants are better off in the ground. They're cooler, you know, with their root ball surrounded by soil all the way around, rather than, you know, these plastic nursery containers. Oftentimes with plants we're holding over, we have to water them a couple of times, maybe 3 times in a day to keep them happy and healthy. So it's a lot more work on us to keep them that way. So I think watering is just the most consistent, needs to be the most consistent thing. And as long as they're getting plenty of water, they usually do just fine. All that said, let's run out, and I think I've got the perfect spot for that pine. You ready to do some digging?
I'm ready.
Hey, do you think we'll have time to maybe do those 2 big beech trees too?
Yeah, they get big, don't they?
Yeah, but I think I've got 2 great spots for them.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm ready to rock.
Perfect. We gotta grab some soil acidifier at the barn real quick for this pine.
Oh, okay.
Also, this is my my cool off system right here. Battery operated fans are awesome. Soil acidifier right there. I swear these are looking more full in just a couple of days since the last update.
Yeah?
Look at that.
Yeah, I think that one is big time.
My goodness.
How's that?
I think it might need to be a little bit wider.
Okay.
How much easier is that auger though?
Oh, it's so much easier.
It is, isn't it?
You're not bending
Right.
the same way.
It's awesome.
And it's lighter. It spins faster.
Yeah, it
because
does.
it's lighter.
That's probably good. That's probably good. Watch out for the stinky. This is the stinkiness.
Oh, it is. I think it just followed me.
Well, that's probably in your nose now for good. That's also stinky, but not as stinky. Oh, perfect. Oh, that pine looks perfect right there. I absolutely love it. There's so much green in this area, you know, with our heptacodium. There's a quickfire hydrangea, Norway spruce. We needed to break it up a little bit. And I did add the Midnight Masquerade penstemon, the perennial right in here that's got the red in its leaves. So we added a little bit of different color contrast right there. But I think that this is going to add some beautiful height and structure and winter interest in this space. I mean, we've got a lot of winter interest right here, but this will add the blue winter interest. Okay, I think we're going to plant probably the Buddleia next, the Miss Violets. Start with the big stuff and work our way down. Those look so good right there.
They do.
I love them. So you guys, this right here is the Heliopsis called Bit of Honey. So they've got a very heavily variegated, but it's interesting. Instead of having a green background with white variegation, it's a white leaf with green variegation. And then these bright yellow flowers that the pollinators love. And then we've also got some Pope John Paul. I think that's what this rose is that we dug out from behind the fireplace and popped out here. So we'll have white roses with the purple Buddleia. These are the alliums that we dug up, divided, and transplanted earlier this spring. They look great. We've got some Cat's Pajamas Nepeta in here. It's just really coming together. Also, the grass is a Desert Plains Pennisetum. And I can't remember what kind of spruce this is, but this year in particular, it's put on so much growth. Look at this. This is all this year. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, I feel like that evergreen could have either died this year or done that. It
Why?
kind of just was sitting there.
Why died?
Well, it just was sitting there, kind of like, you know?
Yeah.
Like sometimes plants do that for a couple of years for us. We'll plant them and they just sit there and you're like, is it doing okay?
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden it just like
Takes off.
takes off.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Okay, you were mentioning before we put these next ones.
Yeah, I want to put some chelated iron. I just need to go grab it real quick.
Okay, so this is a London plane tree. Let me get it close to the leaves. It's showing some chlorosis, which is an iron deficiency. So we'll show you how we take care of that. And you can tell it's an iron deficiency if your leaves start looking like this one right here, where the background turns lighter and the veining is a dark green. And this isn't a severe problem yet, but once it becomes severe, the leaves will start to burn on the tips. And it's a pretty easy fix.
You know it's chlorosis because of the way it is.
Nobody knows that joke, Aaron. Only you.
I think everybody on the internet knows that joke. Turn your fan on.
You saying I look sweaty?
No.
Maybe. A little bit.
This is awesome.
I know. This is where we're going to plant one of the beech trees.
Oh, okay. This is how you treat chlorosis. EDDHA iron. Now there's another one of these that says 10% on it. It's iron chelate, and but it's not the EDDHA. And I one time bought that thinking I was getting the right thing, but I wasn't. So it's the 6%. So here's what you do. Oh, here's what it looks like, by the way.
Don't breathe it in. It'll taste like blood.
I don't think it hurts you, but
No, it just tastes bad.
it's it wouldn't be nice. Okay, if I was your dad, I'd pour this whole thing on there, but that's unnecessary, and we're not going to do that. So we'll just sprinkle it like this.
That's probably more than you need
Oh
too.
yeah, this is probably more, but
Mercy.
I don't mess around. Your
But-
dad doesn't mess around even harder than I don't mess around.
You used what, about a quarter of that container?
Oh no, I probably used like a tenth of it. There's still a lot in here.
Oh,
It's probably like half full still. And it was, yeah, I didn't use a ton. Okay, and then we'll water it in. You can mix up water in like a 5-gallon bucket ahead of time if you want, but I sort of kind of find that unnecessary.
yeah. If
Just-
you're just going to water it in,
Yeah, just pour it around the
the
base.
goal is
and
just to
then-
get it pushed down to the roots.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less work to do it this way than to mix it in a bucket.
So the nice thing with all of our maples that are in the grass, I don't even have to water it in because the sprinklers will do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But watch how red it gets. Look at that.
We thought this tree was dead this spring. It leafed out, and then we had that weird 27-degree cold snap, and it killed all the leaves that were on it. And then it sat here for a very long time. So we're thankful.
You know, if you're about to get rain, that's a good time to go out and spread this stuff. As long as you don't get, if you live in an area where you get a ton of rain, like a lot of rain all at one time, I'd be a little afraid of it washing away. But if you're gonna get like a reasonable rain, then you don't even need to water it in.
I was just noticing we're starting to get that really neat bark appearance, Aaron. Look at that.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that cool?
It's like camo.
Yeah,
There you go.
very nice.
That's how you do it.
Little
And then,
side note for today.
It'll be nice and dark green. I would do that if you're actually having a legitimate problem. I would apply it every week or every 2 weeks until it's fixed. And that's probably overkill, but
You'd rather save your tree.
I'd rather save the tree because it will die. Like if
Yeah.
you don't take care of the issue, it'll just keep burning,
It'll look horrible.
and then the leaves aren't taking in the sun, and it looks bad, and yeah, it'll eventually die.
Also, we've got such pretty daisies. I planted these in a video maybe last year, and I can't remember the name of them. They're gorgeous. And then we've got some of the yellow brick road sedum right here blooming. I think the spots for the next 2 buddleias, we're going to put one here and one over here.
I'll walk.
Okay. There's a hole right there. Okay, so there's our next one right here. And we've got some beautiful echinacea. There's some agastache in here, Niagara Falls panicum. We have a project in mind that we are going to be doing in here later this year. We might plant one of those beech trees that I was talking about earlier, maybe today.
Let's do it.
Where the sumacs were. But real quick, here's the other one. And that's really perfect in here. And can we just like appreciate this sweet little rose trying its hardest? This is the Impressionist climbing rose, and I thought it was dead. I mean, it was dead all the way back down to like a tiny little branch down there, and it sprung forth, and it's trying really hard. But wouldn't that be beautiful to have it filling up this obelisk full of those really gorgeous apricot pink blooms? I love it when things like that happen. Okay, we're gonna head to the other side, I think, to do the rest of the buddleia and the hardy geraniums. Just kidding. I think that these buddleia would be beautiful worked in this area right here. We've got some of the cashmere pink superbena. There's a Dobbs frosted juniper. There's some white roses. I cannot remember the name of these right here, but it would be gorgeous to have another layer of pink in here. Aaron needed to test the sprinklers over there on the other side. Can't get them to turn on?
Well, no, the app is not working currently.
Oh, dang. Well, that gives us a chance to come over here and look at this Bethany. It is massive. We've got a big bank of Miss Violet buddleias right here. See, these have been here for a few years, and you can see they're just starting to color up. I am going to need to move these. They're the once in a melon echinacea, because Bethany has never grown this tall before, and usually the echinacea is taller than it, but this year it's like, nope, we're going to be huge, which is gorgeous, but now we can't see the echinacea. I'll probably leave that one and just move this one over to this spot and fill this in with the same thing, if I can get my hands on some more at some point. But the pollinators on this Bethany, I don't know if you can see all that activity, but I can hear it. I love this spot so much, and I actually love it more now that the sumac is gone. It allows the Sesky gold dwarf birch to kind of shine as the yellow element over here, instead of kind of fighting with the sumac. But we've also got, you know, the Aphrodite calycanthus back there. This is a pink coralberry. We've got a tater tot arb, little winter interest in here, black lace elderberry in the back, totem pole panicum. There's a state of grace rose, and then a shade master honey locust, putting on a lot of growth. Every once in a while when I look at this space, I think, my word, it has just really, it's starting to come into its own. But we still have quite a lot of holes to fill too. Well, we can work on our buddleia placement while Aaron's fiddling with the sprinklers. I'm also going to swap to the 7-inch auger because I don't think we need a 9 for this size. I barely have to hunch at all. Like, I mean, I'm not even really hunched.
You don't really need to. You just...
Okay.
You know, I feel like we could do, like, okay, hear me out. Guys pay us money to come and dig holes with the auger. It's like Topgolf, but for augers.
They should buy their own auger.
Well, but it's cheaper. It's cheaper to come and you can just like dig a few holes with the, you can just feel like got a lot of work done.
Good idea.
Also, mowing. We could plant like 20 acres of grass.
Yeah.
And have like several mowers, and guys come and rent the time to come mow, like, you know.
Is that what you would like to do?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I think there's a bunch of guys that would pay. They get off of work. You just want to go mow a lawn, but you don't want to walk behind. You want like a big, you know,
With a drink holder.
with a couple drink holders. 92-inch, you know, deck mower. You can make money on the drinks. I think that's a fabulous business idea. You know what? They could plant, or they could dig holes. You could mow.
Think anybody would pay to spray weeds? Or pull weeds?
No, I think that's something you probably wouldn't be able to get people to rent time spraying weeds.
You guys have to see. If you have the option, if you're putting in a faucet, always put in one of these. Off, on. Instead of one that you have to go all the way around like a billion times to turn on and off.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, where have those been all my life?
I don't know, but they're awesome. I think we should retrofit all of our faucets with those.
It's so easy to use.
Yeah. These look so gorgeous. I love them. And they're spread out enough that they're not like a hedge, but you'll get a lot of good cohesion with color and form there. Look pretty with that Super Bean.
Yeah.
Okay, these are our last small ones before we move on to the beech tree. So here are the ballerina hardy geraniums that we planted earlier this season. And you can see that I left this spot right here. There's a few snowdrift supertunias and a whole bunch of other beautiful things. The little itty bitty verbascum seedlings that we put in, they've bloomed and they're looking awesome. It really is filling in, but I think having more of these geraniums will look really good. Also, we loaded up the tree. I think we may just plant one today.
Yeah.
It's hot.
It is hot.
It's a swimming day, I think. I think the kids
We can get
and
in
I
the
will go
pond.
swimming. Get in the pond?
Yeah.
I could do that.
Kids
yeah.
would love that.
Yeah, they would. Okay, well, there we go. You know, you could fill up the whole area with this, but I think we've left just enough space to do a drift about where those snowdrifts are. So we can do something else in this space just to kind of end it off. Here comes Aaron with the hose.
Doesn't make any sense that the sprinkler is so far away from the grass.
I know. Is that where we originally...
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that.
That's too far off from the rest of
Yeah,
the trajectory.
we'll have to fix that.
That is so weird.
I mean, I guess, you know, you haven't had anything planted here, so it hasn't really mattered.
No. All right, done and watered in. So our last bit for today is the beech tree, which this is a Rivers Purple Beech. Let me show you the tag here. So pretty, grows 50 by 40. I love the ending shape there, you can see. But it says that it's a deep purple in the spring and it holds a good purple bronze throughout the summer. And then the bark turns kind of a silvery color. So it'll be really pretty in the wintertime. I think this is gonna go where the sumacs were. I think we could go set it there, Aaron, and see if we like it.
Okay.
And what we'll do, since we can't get the tractor into that area because we'd have to drive it on the grass, I think we can use our 9-inch auger and we'll just do 4 holes right in the same spot. Okay, right here. You excited about this big shade tree?
Yes.
I am too.
Are you excited about this big shade tree?
I am.
Where do you want it?
Well, I'm kind of thinking like right in this realm right here, sort of in between this trio of where the
Okay.
sumacs were. Right
Do you want
there.
it a little closer to the, I feel like it
To the
should go like here.
Well, we can scoot it around, see what we think. Oof, that's a heavy beast. Do you think it needs to be right in here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that looks really nice. Well, I'm gonna walk around real quick,
Okay.
see what it looks like from different angles. Yeah, and that gives us plenty of space for the other project too.
Right. Like for every foot that you go this way, it just gives you a little bit more room. Love it.
Cool.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna try to do this with the 9-inch. So like right in,
Yeah, just kind of hollow out that area, I suppose. It's a deep root ball. Guess we can hollow it out and see what we got. I love that birch tree. It's so pretty. Yeah, I think we're just about right. Just flatten it out.
Do
and
some
put
biotone?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's perfect, Aaron. Oh, isn't that beautiful?
That'd be great.
I love the tree here. How much do you love it here?
I'll love it in 10 years
Well, it's
when it'll be like
beautiful.
30 some feet tall.
50 by, what did I say, 40? So it'll be this beautiful canopy over the grass and everything out here. I mean, everything you're looking at, they're all planted out here for full sun. We have so many trees planted. We're gonna have a shade, hopefully, one day.
I think it'll be a slow transition. I don't
It
think
will
it'll be
be.
overnight.
No, you're right.
I mean, it'll be a really slow transition to shade things.
But one day we'll have hostas out here.
Yeah.
One day. But I love the way that this looks. If we kind of back up this way, we still have a nice big opening here for our project. And then I think we're just gonna start cultivating this area, adding some more stuff in. Aaron, there's one side of that root ball that's completely exposed. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
From this angle, I just noticed
Oh, yeah.
that.
Caved in.
We gotta tuck that in a little bit better. Holy moly. But I love the structure of these beech trees, and they're not super fast growers, which is the one unfortunate part about them, but they are so beautiful in their structure. There we go. It's looking a lot better. Tucked in, watered in, looking gorgeous. We've got some cat's meow nepeta in front of it that's right about needing to be cut back. I have the hardest time wanting to cut these back though, because no matter at what stage, there's always honeybees. They find and love each individual bloom here. But we're getting close. It's looking a little gray at this point. Did you have a fun day planting with the augers?
I did have a fun day.
Good. And you guys, we're gonna call it at that. Super happy with everything that went in today. So like I said, we are gonna make sure that everything, well, today we watered everything as we went along. Paul's actually working on the drip as we speak. He just got the buddleia that was right behind us. While we were planting this, he was working on the drip there. So the drip will be set up to all of them today, which means it'll go off tomorrow, right, Aaron?
I think so.
Yeah, so we'll come out and just check it, make sure that they look good, and then we'll kind of get on an every other day schedule of coming out and making sure that the root balls are fully saturated, moist, not soggy, but moist to get them through the heat. So anyway, I think I'm gonna gather up the kids. We're gonna go out and swim.
The pond or your
I don't
parents?
know, either one. We're gonna go find some water somewhere and we're gonna cool off. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and we will see you in the next one. Bye.